Polina Maslova's Ukraine zine is really cool on a couple different levels. I'd love to share it with you, but boy, isn't that gorgeous. Let's look inside.
Five, four, three, two, one, go.
And hello, everyone. It is Tom at FANzine Live. We are looking at World Zines today, and this is a real special one for yours truly. And it happens on a couple levels. The zine is called Ukraine, Land Where Beauty Persists by Polina Maslova. Polina is a Ukrainian citizen studying in Hamburg, Germany right now. And that alone is one of the many reasons why this zine is special. As I think any viewer of this channel knows, I have a bit of an affinity for the folks in Ukraine. I admire their faith and persistence in trying to defend their homeland against Russia, against Vladimir Putin's expansionist theories. I think what they are doing is noble work, and they're probably saving the rest of the world from a whole lot of headache and heartache by putting up as strong a fight as they are. That said, that's the larger picture issue. The smaller picture issue is this. I didn't go looking for this zine. Polina reached out to me and asked if I could take a look at it. And that's incredibly special. First off, she thinks that my channel is worth looking at, but more importantly, the scope and the reach of FANzine Live apparently is getting to the level where folks from overseas are starting to pay attention, where folks from around the globe are starting to pay attention. And we are getting, in this case, a really top flight zine to take a look at simply because the channel exists. And I think that represents something real special here at FANzine Live. So I want to celebrate that. I think it's great that the community of FANzine Live is growing and growing and growing, that it is truly now global, at least bicontinental, between Europe and America. We have a chance to do something really special here. So when I say like and follow and subscribe and tell your friends and all that stuff, that's what I mean. If you tell your friends, we're going to start seeing really great things happen, like a zine like this coming in. So let's take a look at this. This is, again, an impressive zine. Polina is essentially stuck in Germany. It is not wise to go back to Ukraine if you can avoid it right now, simply because, drone bombings and the war and everything related to that. So she studies, and she makes really nice looking art, and she tries to share her story with the world. She also has told me that she is very interested in seeing more zines about Ukraine, and we've had some dialogue on this. She doesn't see that many, and I've been just scrambling as hard as I can to find anything related to Ukraine, because I do think it is important to keep talking about this. So let's look at hers. First off, it's a gorgeous cover. The zine itself is fantastic. It is a small comic book. Here, I'll pull out a copy of Heroes Past, which is a more standard comic book size piece. It is smaller than that. It is larger than a traditional half-page digest. So it kind of fits that nice mushy metal where you get a good-looking, almost a manga size cardstock cover. Everything is glossy in here, so I'm going to have to hold it at an angle to avoid the glare from the light, as you can see when I hold it flat. And then you've got gloss interiors. Everything's full color. It's just immaculate. Beautifully printed, saddle stitch. I mean, just fantastic. So let's open this thing up. It says a zine looking at the country's culture beyond war. And when you are in the middle of a war, obviously there are the military issues, but at the core is the culture. The Russians are doing their darndest to eliminate Ukrainian culture. So I love that Polina is doing what she can to remind the world of what is worth fighting for, in this case, in Ukraine. Country's culture beyond war. Note the sunflowers. I think we talk about sunflowers later, so I won't do it right now, but that is a motif that you will see a lot of. So she's on a bus, looks like she's at the border, goes through security, gets to the passport, check, and it's welcome home. And look, the smiles, even in war. And then she gets on the bus and she sees beautiful, beautiful birds. Storks. Storks on the cover, back cover, and storks inside. She does a real nice thing here. Handwritten, handwritten, handwritten. And then she gets into the descriptive work, and she does that in typeset. And look at these beautiful images. And then she has, of course, in her title, she has handwriting. It is not surprising the stork associated with freedom and loyalty is a living symbol in Ukraine. Another symbol is the Cossack saber. Cossacks were warriors free from serfdom, and they managed to establish the independent Ukrainian Cossack state. Even the coat of arms of Ukraine, the trident, can be deciphered as the word freedom. She gives some history, the land of diversity. Again, that nice mix of almost an academic style typesetting with a zine style, comic style handwriting. Wonderful mix. And again, the colors with the gradual, almost watercolor style shading. Just gorgeous. So look at the things that came out of Ukraine. Cimmerians, Scythian golden pectorals, Greek, Tripilians, Kufti. I mean, going back 3,000 years, 9th century BC. I mean, there's history, there's diversity. Ukraine, just by virtue of looking at this page, you can tell that it is a melting pot of cultures in a truly wonderful way. The Carpathian trembita in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest wind instrument in the world can reach 8 meters, 24 feet in length. Transmits sound over a distance up to 10 kilometers. Unreal. This was the Antonov AN-25 Dream, as they called it. It was the world's largest transport aircraft, and unfortunately the Russians decided to destroy it because that's what the Russians do. Land of ancient traditions, talking about the sewing, the needlepoint and embroidery that you see on so many Ukrainian clothes, the flower wreaths in the hair, again, another cultural touchstone. And then this notion of a Christmas spider being woven. Gorgeous. Land of resistance. Despite the war, the cultural life of Ukraine is flourishing like never before. More and more people are turning to the historical past and reviving culture. And so they're spending extra time emphasizing their culture to reinforce on the home front why they are fighting this war. And it's this unbreakable resilience and cultural victories that give hope for Ukraine's long-awaited main victory of life over death and darkness. We in the States think that we're in a war with our culture war. This, my friends, is a war to preserve their culture. It's scary. But look at this at the end. Talk about an optimist. The storks finding their nest, and then at the end, because life always prevails. Dedicated to her homeland, support Ukraine. There's some really nice suggestions on where you could make donations of, I'm presuming, money, but perhaps also goods or supplies to try to help Ukraine in their moment of need. Gorgeous book. I'm still blown away that Polina found this channel, and then decided to share her artistic contribution like she did. Thank you so much, Polina. Slava Ukraine. Folks, let me know what you think. Leave a comment about this if you're so inclined. But again, as always, please like the video. Please subscribe to FANzine Live. And please tell your friends. Tell your friends, because these are the types of zines that we are talking about. Zines that truly can make a difference here in our world. It's that important. Thanks again for watching, everybody. This is Tom, FANzine Live World Zines, coming out of Ukraine by way of Hamburg, Ukraine, the land where beauty persists. I'll catch you next time.